now. Here are the 6 and where they were located this past weekend. And here we go. We start with Arizona State heading over to Starkville to take on Mississippi State. Let's dive in. Number 9 at your sports outpost, unfortunately, goes down to SEC country and loses 24-20. Another close margin, one possession game between the two. Back in 2024, it was 30-23, where the Sun Devils got the win there in Tempe. But in Starkville, Coach Jeff Lebby gets a big win, now going 2-0, and I think it's another week before they get into SEC play, even though some teams in that conference have gone and gotten a game in against each other. Kenny Dillingham not very happy with his team. He wasn't very happy with his team anyways. Last week they played Northern Arizona and just won 38-19, so it looked like maybe they were going to be challenged somewhat for sure in this one. And the big question that we had going into this is who's going to be the Cam Skattebo for this game. There wasn't really a Cam Skattebo, to be quite honest with you. There was more or less just home runs. I know Cam Skattebo hit home runs throughout 2024, but in that game last season, it was just more chunk yards that kind of got Arizona State the win. I guess Brendan Thompson, Anthony Evans, they do transfer wide receivers. Those are the guys Blake Shapen hit on very big plays. But it was just more or less a back and forth of nothing until, again, those home run plays. The couple drives that Arizona State had there in the second half to come back as they were down 17-3 at halftime. Just was off to a terrible start. Going into this week, we did have concerns about the offensive line. Looked like that kind of held up, even though they ended up running the ball for 251 yards, very similar to what Cam Skattebo did last season, but he had 262 just by himself. Altogether, the Sun Devils running game, again, about, what's the math on there, 15 yards short. And unfortunately, yeah, it just wasn't enough. Sam Levitt could not hit anyone really deep. Also throwing 2 interceptions in this game on the road. It's going to definitely put yourself into a hole. That's why they were down 17-3, and they just could not dig themselves out of that hole. One, I guess, good thing to really notice about Mississippi State on defense, they kind of brought it. I was kind of concerned going into it that they weren't going to put enough pressure on Sam Levitt. They did. Last week, they only got 1 sack, which was kind of surprising. Last year, they also got 1 sack against the Sun Devils. This year, they get 2. But the bigger thing was tackles for loss. 4 big plays that didn't allow Arizona State to get past the line of scrimmage. That was kind of where the game was won and lost. I would say in between there, Mississippi State's defense just played way better than what Arizona State brought there in Starkville. One guy that was, I don't want to say going off, but was, I think, maybe targeted a little bit too much, and his impact was kind of felt. Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver for Arizona State, he only had 2 receptions for 7 yards last year. This time around, he had 6 for 68, but he was targeted a hell of a lot. Sam Levitt went 10 for 22, and a lot of those misses were going towards him, even up until that final play as well. And I think that was maybe the problem, that Mississippi State kind of knew what they were getting themselves into and what they needed to do to stop this Sun Devil team. Last year, I think maybe they kind of had an idea, but they could not stop Cam Skattebo. But the big weapons for the Sun Devils offense just were not good enough here on the road. And one thing that we were asking ourselves is, can Mississippi State avoid 3rd and long scenarios? Well, it was kind of both teams that ran into that issue. But Mississippi State just, again, hit the home runs that they needed. And that was kind of all that was really to be said here. It wasn't really much of a match that was too overblown in kind of one area. Like the Bulldogs only had 66 yards rushing. Arizona State's I mean, both the defensive fronts did a great job in this. I think one thing we're going to really notice here in 2025 is it's kind of the year of the defense. We're also going to be, echoing that through some of these other previews that we're going to get into. But I think this is kind of like not the year of like these stars on offense. It's mostly going to be teams with solid defenses that kind of put themselves in winning positions. Even though you kind of win a lot regardless if you have a good defense, no matter what. But here it's kind of been so far the year of the defense. And one thing that I was a little disappointed to see was Sam Levitt not kind of distributing the ball outside of Jordan Tyson. I'm forgetting the last year's wide receiver, McCulley or McCullen or something like that. He was kind of an outlet, mostly in like the red zone kind of department that complemented Jordan Tyson. But he couldn't really get to any of his, other targets for the Sun Devils. Only had 3 receiving targets that got a reception. That was the 10 out of the 22, and it was just Tyson, the running back, Raleek Brown, who is a pretty good dual threat. I mean, he got 110 yards. Him and Udo combined for 225, which is not too bad. But again, it just was not good enough, and that's an issue that they need to address, is getting the ball to their weapons more efficiently with Sam Levitt there in the back slinging it. And again, 24-20 is the score there. The home runs and the storming of the field. I think it was kind of funny. I saw a post that Mississippi State could not afford this storming of the field and win technically because of, like, I guess the funding or whatever is going on over there in Starkville. I think they're somewhat decently funded, but a $500,000 fine for storming the field is kind of a big payment that you're gonna have to put in, even though you did beat someone that was, at least for our rankings, a top 10 opponent. Was top 25 in general. We'll see how Mississippi State does for the rest of the season. It looks like they might have addressed the Kevin Coleman issue that left and is now not a Bulldog and is playing for Missouri, who we're going to be talking about in a little bit, and have enough weapons that they gotten from other places, and Brennan Thompson and Anthony Evans, who were basically, I guess, the difference here between Arizona State and Mississippi State. So that was our first game.